Welcome into the channel, everyone. I've got a really exciting episode for y'all. Today we're going to test out just how much wind each welding process can handle. So today's episode is going to be super fun, and I'm really curious as to how all these processes stack up. If you check it out, we've got our little pedestal here. We've got a wind meter set up so that we can measure the amount of wind that it's going to take. We're going to have Tyler, the editor, start at 20 feet back with a compressed air hose, and he's going to shoot full blast from 20 feet to 15 feet, 10 feet, 5 feet, all the way really close up to the plate of what I'm welding on. We're going to see just how much wind each of these welding processes could take before they get Swiss cheese. Everyone knows that there's gas shielding that has to do with processes like MIG, dual shield flux core, and TIG welding, but we all know that stick and self-shielded flux core and these other processes are a little bit more resilient, but we're going to just see how resilient they are because there is still limitations to what they can handle. So let's get suited up, starting first up with MIG. We're going to run all 045 wire for all our wire-fed processes. Let's do it. All right, first up, we're going to be doing the MIG welding process. We're going to be up in volts, close to a spray transfer with this 045 wire. We just don't have the right gas, but we're going to send it anyway. You ready, Tyler?
Yep.
All right, here we go.
I can feel a breeze. No porosity yet. Get closer. I don't see any holes. Keep coming. What's happening? Oh God, I don't know. Yeah, that's definitely it.
I don't know what drama happened there, but we're having a bunch of problems. Yeah, that's porosity. That's a bunch of holes. Where are we at? 6-ish feet? We'll have to do the playback here at the end to see what exactly that wind meter said. All right, next up, we're going to be doing dual shield flux core. I was honestly surprised how long the MIG lasted. I wonder if this will last at all because it has both gas and flux. We got the wires switched out, the drive rolls changed out, we're ready to rock and roll.
Get a little closer. Compressor kicked on. We're definitely blowing that smoke around. Get a little closer. I don't know if I'm bubbling yet. Get closer.
Yeah, we're definitely bubbling at the end there. There's got to be porosity in that bead, but there's only one way to really check, and that's by removing that slag. All right, let's see. This is the start of the bead. Oh, there's the porosity. That's way sooner than I saw it. Whoa, Swiss cheese. Now, Tyler, you said you were like 8 foot away at this point. So I bet we were closer to that 10 foot mark right here when we caught some porosity. Now we need to test out the other process, the other flux core from another mother, which is self-shield flux core. Tyler, are you ready? Here we go.
Self-shield flux core. It's breezy, but we're going. Keep it coming, buddy. I don't see a change. I see a bunch of smoke moving. I have no idea if we're getting porosity or not. Get up in there. Whoa. All right.
I figure you were pretty close. I didn't really notice a change or anything, but we got to get rid of this slag. All right, here's the big reveal. Welding it, I couldn't tell the difference, and I did start pushing to come back around. I ran out of plate, but let's see where we got any holes. Bro, that's actually crazy. I don't see any surface porosity. And I think Tyler got so close, the wind meter wouldn't even pick it up because he was shooting right at the weld, man. You can weld in a tornado with this stuff. That's why they welded outside and not that dual shield stuff. That's all of our wire-fed processes. Now I'm going to go ahead and switch to the last gas process, which is TIG welding. And I don't have really high hopes at all for this one. All right, so we got the TIG welding process switched over on the machine. We switched our gas over to straight argon. I even got the flow rate, I would say relatively high than normal. I mean, it's going. So we're going to just see how long this lasts. You ready, Tyler?
Give her. Got the wind over here. I can even see a little flutter. Get closer. Oh, there's a little sputter right there already. Keep going. Oh, there it is. That's toast. We're toast.
What do you got? About 11 feet away. I mean, I didn't get a bunch of porosity, but I couldn't weld anymore without getting more. So that's the stop right there. We didn't make it very far, and that's about as I predicted. Stick welding is the OG for welding in the wind, but we're going to see just how much it can take. We swapped our leads over. We've got the machine set up to DC positive, and we're going to be running the 7018 first. You ready?
I feel the breeze. Keep it coming. It's pretty windy on that arc. I don't see any pinholes on the backside of that puddle yet. It's definitely windy now. Oh man, we're definitely that's definitely a lot of wind there.
I think Tyler just blew my arc out like a candle. Now we got to see what's underneath this slag. Got a nice peeler here. Let's see if there's trash underneath. We got a decent bead. I don't see any problems. Let me give it a little bit of a jimmy. I think it's worth trying one more time with Tyler a lot closer to start with to see if we can't catch some porosity, because it's happened to me before. It just didn't happen right now, but I want to see it. All right, we're going to start at 5 feet this time, right away. Give her the sauce, buddy. Like, put it right on that arc.
Oh yeah, it's in there. Trying to hold a tight arc length. I don't know if the slag's blowing away now. I can't keep it lit. All right.
That's enough. If you're welding in that right there, you're desperate. Let's check out what it looks like underneath. It's cool, you can actually see like the whole puddle. Even this one's lopsided from the breeze hitting it off to the side. So you definitely can't weld with someone pointing a compressed air gun right at your bead. But I don't know, we might have to try the self-shielded flux again and really put it to the test. But first, let's try an 80-10. All right, starting from the back, Tyler's back at 20 feet. I'm gonna have you move up pretty fast because I don't think we need to waste our time back there, just like that 7018 rod. So let's do it.
Come on. I got a breeze on me. I feel it. Feels good. Keep it coming. Oh yeah, get it on there, baby. Push it to the limit. You're blowing my arc out. The slag's getting pulled to the side.
I think we reached the limit there. Woo! I just flashed myself. Similar look there. I literally watching the slag just pull over to the side. We're not able to hold a steady puddle, but we got to get that slag out of the way. You know, it still is crunchy. We're lopsided off to the side. You can see undercut over here because literally everything's just pulling everything away. That's like probably one reason why you wouldn't want to weld in the wind. But I'm really not sure if there's a bunch of porosity in there or not. I want to run one more bead and get Tyler right up in the chili of it. So let's see what happens. All right, we're going to start at just 5 feet away and just go ahead and get it rolling.
I'm gonna do my best to keep that rod alive. Keep a really tight arc length to hide from this wind. Oh man, it's holding up, but
hey, you're blowing me out like a candle again. I think that's about the limits of that stick welding. I don't know if there's porosity at all, but it's definitely, you can't weld in this much wind. The bead's not gonna be where you want it to be. It's not gonna focus. You're gonna get other defects, if not porosity. If you're wondering how it was so easy for us to switch through processes today, and as we go through the rest of these processes, it's because of this machine right here. This Cyclone 263 PI is a true multi-process machine. We've got our mixed gas for MIG welding. We can still run that 100% CO2 if that's all you got. Even being able to MIG weld stainless steel, aluminum, and even put our MIG process into a pulse MIG. There's so many more avenues of different applications when it comes to pulse MIG. I don't even know if we can go down that rabbit hole without making a whole nother video. Then we have, of course, the flux core and the flux core with no gas, and then we can move into our TIG and our stick welding processes. Again, this is one of my go-to multi-process machines, and I appreciate what Everlast does over there for making really good equipment that's affordable to just about everyone. Shout out to Everlast for today's video sponsor. So we switched back to the self-shielded flux core because I don't feel like we held it to the fire like we did the stick rod. So I'm going to have Tyler come in closer and really just put it to the test to see if we can't get something to roll, because it really didn't seem affected at all compared to the stick rods. You ready, Tyler?
hey man, it's holding steady. Holding real steady. I don't see any of that slag moving. I don't see the puddle rolling. Get up on there. Get up on there. Oh my goodness, it just blew a whole chunk of the puddle out. It's still going though. Get up right next to it. Oh, there it goes. Okay.
That's fair. That just removed the entire... We were gouging at that point. We were carbon arcing. Let's get a closer look. So first of all, I want to point out that nugget there was supposed to be in that part of the bead, and it straight up blew out. And the end of the weld there, we started literally blowing the entire puddle out of it. But, I mean, Tyler was right up in it. For all of this weld, it was really nice and consistent. There's some weird looking somethings under there. And you know, I think there's only one really good thing for us to tell if there's actually porosity in it. We need to top all these welds with a grinder to see if there's any internal porosity. Let's do that next. Now I know this isn't like a super scientific test. We're in my freaking little garage for Pete's sakes, and I had Tyler sitting here with a compressed air hose. But it does still show some clear results on what can handle wind and what can't. Let's start by looking at our failures first. These processes really rely on an external shielding gas, whether it be inert or active gas, in order to protect the weld pool. Starting first with our MIG weld, we actually made it close to like 6 foot away before we really started seeing porosity, maybe 7 foot, but we got Swiss cheese in this MIG weld, but not near as bad as the Flux core. The Flux core dual shield, remind you, the Flux isn't what's going to protect this weld completely. It's got to have that external shielding gas, and you can see clear as day, we've got all different types of porosities in this Flux core weld. For whatever reason, this one stayed kind of true, but the first two, the first one and the last one, was absolutely trash. And then of course we have our TIG weld that lasted not even an inch before we started catching just the slightest little bit of pinholes, but there was no point in welding any further. Now, as far as these other processes like self-shielded flux core, 7018, 8010, they rely on the melting and burning of the flux that causes a CO2 shield around the weld puddle in order to protect it. And I did go ahead and flat top all these welds to see if we got any internal porosity, and I'm actually super surprised we didn't catch a single bug hole in none of those welds. The self-shielded flux core did nothing as far as having the porosity. Same thing with our 7018, same thing with our 8010. I will say more of the flux and more of the weld was pushed over with the stick welding electrodes. Like I was getting overlap on one side, undercut on the other, and the slag wasn't protecting the weld super properly anymore. So compare that to the self-shielded flux core, which I think is going to be our absolute winner today, because it just held really sturdy, really strong against even putting the wind right up on it until it literally turned into a gouging process. I think what we got here is some pretty interesting results, and I'm blown away. Thanks for watching, guys. Go weld something.